You know, I used to train badminton for 14 hours a day, and I'd still lose to people who train twice a week. People who I knew I could beat, because I simply identified as a loser. I took every loss to heart, and I started identifying as someone who is nervous, who is inconsistent, who loses to people he shouldn't lose to. And that attracted losses into my life. And every single loss only served to further reaffirm my bad identity. See, most people never change their identity. They don't even try and give it any thought. If you clicked on this video, that means you're already better than the 99% of chuds who are not going to learn what you're about to learn about changing your identity. So give yourself a little pat on the back, you clicked on the right video. And also for all my overthinkers out there, I have a hack that's gonna really help you make better and quicker decisions. But you're gonna have to watch to the end because, to be honest, if I'm gonna give you my secret sauce, hey yo, you better give me some retention, okay? And one last thing, this video is not gonna be, oh, top 11 hacks to instantly improve your identity. I'm sick of everyone pushing like fake advice that doesn't actually work and people who are too afraid to tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Changing your identity is not easy. It's very simple, but it's not easy. Not easy at all. It's a long, arduous process that you're gonna have to put a lot of effort in if you're gonna wanna see any results, but the results are worth it. This next line is really powerful, so make sure you write it down, make a mental note of it. Identity change is a product of repeated votes towards your new identity created through acting in the manner of the new identity. Basically, already doing what the new you would do. You're essentially faking it till you make it. You act like the 2.0 version of yourself until you eventually become the 2.0 version of yourself. I used to go to summer camps, and one of the games we would always play is called Stones. And it's basically like capture the flag, except there's multiple flags. Whoever has the most flags at the end of the game wins. I like to think of identity change as this game of stones. And there's two sides, right? There's the side of your old identity, and there's the side of your new identity. Right now, all of these stones are on the side of your old identity. What you have to do is you have to run across, zigzag through all the defenders, twist their ankles, whatever, grab a stone, run all the way back to your new identity, and that's like one vote, 1 point towards the 2.0 version of yourself. And in order to override your old identity, you need more stones on the new one than the old. And what's important to note is that you get a stone through action, through running across like a treacherous territory, avoiding shit. You can't sit still and just manifest a new identity into your brain. It actually takes work, it takes real effort. The core sauce between changing your identity is how we can move all these stones from your old identity towards the new one, and how we can do that quicker, faster, more efficiently. Okay, here's the part that nobody talks about. In the self-improvement space, I always see people talk about their new identity, their goals, right? Like their aspirations, things they want to look up to, and that's good and awesome. But 50% of the equation is your old identity. 50% of the equation is who you are right now. Your current identity is a product of your entire life, your environment, your habits, your friends, your current lifestyle. It's been shaped by trauma from your family, the thousands of losses you've had up until this point. And whether you realize it or not, you probably identify as a loser right now, which is really bad because, like I said earlier, if you identify as a loser, you're gonna naturally attract losses. So if we go back to the game of stones, understanding your old identity is like understanding the opponent's defense. If you know your opponent's defense really, really, really well, you know which cracks you can slip into. You know which cracks you can slip into to successfully avoid the defense, grab a stone and bring it out. I think that's the importance of knowing your current identity, knowing where it comes from, why you think the way you do. Because if you're able to identify that, you've done half the battle. It's gonna be way easier for you to grab votes and sort of manipulate your old identity into becoming the new one. Okay, so why is identity change actually important? The problem with self-improvement is that everything you do is not permanent. It requires discipline and willpower to do all the good habits. That is until you have made an identity change. So for me, it used to take me so much discipline to get to the gym. Something I've never told anyone is that I used to have to watch a motivational video every single day before I went to the gym because otherwise I just wouldn't have the motivation to go. But gradually, and I really emphasize gradually, okay, this was not an overnight procedure, it became really easy and fun to go to the gym. That's because I went from identifying as a person who is inconsistent in the gym, who requires discipline, to a person who goes to the gym simply to go to the gym. And every single time I went, every fun gym session I had was like a new vote towards this new identity I had. And the great thing is, once you have the new identity, it requires no discipline whatsoever. Like right now, I go to the gym because it's just a simple fact of my life, right? Like I'm simply just a person who never misses a workout. It becomes melded into the very threads of your brain, the conscious of your soul. Okay, that makes no sense, but you get my point, right? Does anyone else know that game called Adventure Capitalist? Basically, you click on like a lemonade stand, for example, and every time you click on it, you get like 20 bucks. You used to have to click on the button every single time in order to get 20 bucks, right? It required discipline, actual effort. You had to click the mouse. But eventually, when you got rich enough and you got good enough, you've clicked it enough times, you earn the money to hire a manager. And what the manager does is they automate the process. It doesn't require any discipline. You don't have to click on it anymore. It just makes money for you. Changing your identity is the same thing as automating your habits, right? Your good habits become a simple fact of life. something that doesn't require discipline or willpower or anything else. It's just something you simply do because it's ingrained into you. Okay, so there's 4 steps to changing your identity. Number 1, identify the new you. This one's obvious, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but one tip I do wanna give you is to be very, very, very autistic with the details. Okay, you cannot be too specific here. Make a whole character profile about the 2.0 version of yourself. And another tip is to be obsessed with character qualities, not material things. Example, the 2.0 version of yourself is not jacked. The 2.0 version of yourself never misses the gym. One of them is the result. The other is the character quality that gives the result. And here's the thing, right? You can't control your results. Like, you can't control how jacked you are. Your perception is also gonna shift with like social media and whatnot. But never missing the gym is something you could accomplish literally right now. Being jacked is a byproduct of never missing the gym. So you want to chase the identity that naturally attracts the success that you want, not the success itself. Number 2, identify your current self, especially within the context of the 2.0 version of yourself. So for example, the 2.0 version of myself never misses the gym, right? Then the 1.0 version of myself, me right now, might be someone who is pretty inconsistent with the gym. You want to find the key differences between where you want to be and where you are right now. And again, be very specific, okay? Write down all the autistic details about yourself. Because the more raw, authentic, and vulnerable that you are with yourself, the better this is gonna work for you. So write down your deepest, darkest secrets, like things you have never told anyone before. Step number 3, identify the vehicle to get from your current self to your new identity. So ask yourself this question: what actions can I consistently perform that align with my desired identity and help me get from point A to point B? For example, I'm currently inconsistent in the gym. I want to be someone who is always consistent. What is the action that I can consistently perform? Okay, well, it's just going to the gym. And lastly, step number 4, repeat, repeat, repeat. Every single one of those actions is a vote towards that new identity. And remember, it's not cute, right? Changing your identity is something that genuinely just takes action. But every repetition is like stealing a flag, taking a stone away from your old identity and putting it towards your new. From here, it's easy, right? Just try and keep that one action up. Just try and be as consistent in that one action as possible. I'm about to read you a few from literally my own list, okay? The 1.0 version of me uses his phone while shitting and eating and always double dopamines. The best version of me is fully present in whatever I do. The actions I chose are to be more bored throughout the day, and the way I'm gonna do this is to ban my phone while I'm shitting, ban music while I'm in the car, and do boredom meditation once a day. Every single time I do one of those actions, it's a new vote towards a new identity. Eventually, after maybe a few months, if you're really consistent, you'll begin to adopt that new identity, and then those said actions will become automatic. Last one, me right now, I still have a little bit of social anxiety, and it sometimes prevents me from having nice conversations with strangers. The best version of myself is a version that has no social anxiety at all. The simple thing that I'm gonna do is talk to one new person every day. And every single time I do that, I shed a little bit of my old identity and I pick up a little bit of the new one. Okay, now before you click off because you've learned how to change your identity, let me talk to you about some tips and tricks for when you're actually going through that process. The first one, and this is a really big trap that I fell into, don't identify as someone who is trying. Don't become the person who's trying to never miss the gym. Never become the person who's trying to be successful, because trying implies failure. And while it's okay to mess up, you never want to let screw-ups and failure become a part of your identity. So when you screw up, sweep it under the rug. Lie to yourself. Like, yeah, I screwed up once. That doesn't define me. If you miss the gym a few times, don't let it get to your head, okay? Because if the second you let that get to your head, the second you start identifying as a person who's trying to get consistent in the gym, you're inviting inconsistency. You're inviting more failure into your life. And something I want you to remember is that your new identity is not a law. It's a direction to work towards. This means that you're gonna make mistakes. Like, of course you're gonna make mistakes, right? You know, just because you made mistakes doesn't mean you're gonna jump ship or you're gonna redirect your course. You're not gonna change your destination just because you hit some turbulence. It's the same thing with your identity, right? Like, you screw up a few times, you're not consistent a few times. You don't change the identity you're working towards. You just accept that, okay, setbacks happen, things happen, but that doesn't define me, and that's not what I'm working towards. Okay, so if you watched this far, I imagine you're pretty committed. I'm gonna give you some more tips that are like really good for helping you change your identity. The first one is to know that the more aspects about your current life that you change, the faster you're gonna change your identity. Implementing one habit is good, like one habit or one action, but when you change everything to align with this new version of yourself, holy crap, bro. So redesign your environment, right? Look at this right now. I have posters on my wall. I have all of this shit here. This wasn't here before I started self-improvement, and now it is. And every single time I look at it, it's a reminder, a vote towards this new identity that I'm building. Delete social media. Do grand gestures. So for example, right? The best version of myself is a version of myself who doesn't scroll. So what I did, one of the actions that I did was to delete Instagram and YouTube off my phone for a while. When I picked up this new identity, I actually reinstalled Instagram and YouTube, and even though they're on my phone, I never scroll on them because now I've picked up this new identity. So not scrolling is just integral to who I am now. But on the topic of grand gestures, right? You want to do a lot of big things that signal a commitment to your new identity. That can be like what I just said, right? Deleting all the apps, the video games, the scrolling. That could be putting posters on your wall. That could be dropping $800 on a new camera that you're going to plan on using every single day. Those things are big gestures that are worth like 10 whole votes, you know, maybe like 50 whole votes towards this new identity. And one of the best ones that you can do literally right now, and I'm urging you to do it right now, is to comment under this video. And okay, I'm one of the only YouTubers who are gonna admit I want that juicy interaction. I'm not gonna lie to you, but also hear me out. I know you, okay? You're like the younger version of myself, and I know that the younger version of myself would never comment on any YouTube video ever. But if you comment under this one, it will improve your progress because you did something that you've never done before. And you dedicated this thing that you've never done before. So it is a big commitment towards your new identity. That's literally like 100 votes for your new identity right there because you did such a big commitment. You broke a rule that you've been keeping your whole life. And it takes like a minute to do it. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to the comment section and comment what your new identity will be and then commit to it. And to be honest, I'll do it with you. I never comment under videos, like not even my own, right? So this might be my first YouTube comment ever as well. So you can literally see me do it, okay, as a sign of my own commitment to my own identity. So you know that, like, you know, I'm actually about this life. Like, I do this shit. You know, matter of fact, comment under it right now. Yeah, do it. Yeah, oh, yeah, boom. Oh, went fast enough. Didn't comment fast enough. Shot you. Okay, what am I doing, bro? Okay, now this is the super secret sauce that I mentioned at the beginning of the video for all the overthinkers. Basically, in any applicable situation, when you need to make a decision, think to yourself, what would the 2.0 version of myself do in this situation? And then act accordingly. And I swear to God, thinking like this has helped me make so many good decisions in my life. It's saved me like months of my life, entire months. So for example, I was gonna post this YouTube on my Instagram to get over my fear of failure. But you know, that's a really hard thing to do, especially because at the time I had like 100 subs. So it wasn't like, you know, impressive or anything. I was really scared. I was going back and forth for literal months between posting, not posting. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Because I was super scared, right? Until I asked myself the question, what would the best version of myself do in this situation? And it became so clear to me, like, okay, well, the best version of myself doesn't give a fuck and doesn't fear failure. He would do this without a second thought. He does things even if they're difficult, even if they make him feel uncomfortable. And I literally had the Instagram story posted like an hour later. Okay, you made it to the end of the video. If you like what you saw, if you learned anything at all, please leave a nice comment. I love reading comments. I promise I'll reply to every single one. If you want a detailed guide on how to become the 2.0 version of yourself, let me know. I'll make one. Matter of fact, I'll probably like renew my own 2.0 protocol with you guys on that video. So it'll be pretty nice for me as well. Other than that, if you guys want any other like tips or self-improvement advice with anything else, put them in the comment section. I'll read all the comments and I'll make sure I'll get back to you. And also make sure you sub right now, okay? Because I will be big. I'm looking you dead in the eyes right now. You can look at my conviction, okay? I got that flame. I got that glint. I will be huge. So if you sub, you know, you can say you were here early type shit. Anyways, ciao.